Joining us now, the Mayor of St. Catharines, Walter Sendzik. Walter, welcome to the program today.
Thanks for having me back, Mike.
Let's talk about economic impact of COVID-19. I read a report from CBC recently. I'll just go over some of these numbers from some of the bigger cities. They say Toronto losing about $65 million a week. Vancouver, they say that they estimate they could lose $330 million in revenue this year. Edmonton, $260 million. And Calgary losing $15 million a week. St. Catharines is a much smaller city than all of those. But what do you anticipate will be the economic impact of COVID-19 on the city?
Based on the sort of current shutdown, at about 2.7 million is what our loss rate is right now. If we project that out to the end of the year with a lot of our facilities remaining closed, we'll be looking at about a $8 to $10 million deficit in terms of loss over a year. And we got to find a way, Mike, to manage that cost. So that cost includes opening up things that people are asking for. So every time we open up an amenity, there's costs that go into it. So we've got to balance the human side versus the economic side, but at the same time, the Fed and the feds in the province, they've got to come to the table with a relief package that we can understand, so that when we're going through our financial exercises for 21 and 22, we're not going to put this on the back of the property taxpayers here in our city.
With the federal government pumping in $152 billion in coronavirus aid, what will be left to trickle down to the cities? And I think that's part of the question.
The reality is we don't have many tools to raise revenue. Outside of Toronto, most municipalities can only raise revenue through property taxes, and then you got some ancillary services that you provide. So if we're locked into a revenue model that prevents us from raising additional revenue in another way, and we can't carry deficits, which I don't want the government to allow us to do, because I think you get into very dangerous territory there, they have to be providing some kind of one-time relief. And if they, in absence of doing that, you're going to see a lot of municipalities struggle, just like the businesses are struggling. So I think a relief is not a want, it's a must.
Some changes to transit and also some anticipation that ridership will be down on transit as well. So here's a service that you offer that isn't a moneymaker, and now we'll be losing even more money going forward without the Brock and Niagara College students potentially coming back to campus.
Yeah, those are big financial questions, and the reality is that I believe public transit is a essential service. A lot of people still use it, but our ridership is down, and we have to find a way, again, maybe through the redefining of the gas tax, whatever it may be. But upper levels of government have to recognize that transit's an essential service for communities like ours, and they have to come to the table with some kind of relief packaging, because if not, we have to reduce our bus routes, and that's not going to help the people in our community that rely on transit.
Walter, when I was thinking about this whole COVID-19 thing the other day, just thinking about the response from the 12 mayors of the municipality, from the councils, from the region, from Mr. Bradley and the regional councillors as well, the most challenging times probably for any government leader, probably in our lifetime. And I'm just wondering, what is the atmosphere like when you're talking to the other mayors, and do you give each other a lot of personal support behind the scenes?
Yeah, we have a weekly conference call with the 12 municipalities, the mayors, and the regional chair, and that's really to get a pulse of what's going on in our individual communities. And it is that opportunity to, if a community is going through some struggles, it's an opportunity for us to help support the mayor, and at the same time, learn best practices. So when it comes to beaches, we all want to have a concerted effort on our beaches, because, if St. Catharines does something with its beach plan and that's different than Port Colborne, and then people start flocking to Port Colborne because theirs is open earlier, that doesn't benefit Port Colborne. It doesn't benefit any other community in the region as well. So we have to work together. And I think what we've shown over the past 12 weeks is that when we work together, we have the same message, we have a common goal, and I think we're stronger for it. So, we've got a great group of mayors, and the regional chair, Bradley, is very strong in what he's been doing at the region. So we're in good hands. Our municipalities are in good hands, and, I'm hopeful that we're going to be pulling through this together.
Thanks very much for your time today, Walter. We appreciate it.
Thanks. Stay safe and stay healthy.